Okay, so the lesson here is simple. Do not delay arguments with your girlfriend or your wife. There's only one instance that I would actually delay it, and that's if you're in public, right? You want to save dramatic discussions. I wouldn't even call them fights, right? You can call them arguments, but if you're having fights with a girlfriend or a wife, you're already doing it wrong. If you're in a relationship, then you probably have already learned this, right? This is the, hey, what's wrong, honey? Nothing. And you ask 5 times, and then she says nothing, and you're like, all right, whatever, you know. And then the argument will erupt in an hour or in a day or in a few days, whatever, you know. I don't know how long your girl takes to be mature enough to express her opinion. I'm not saying that when women play this game, they're being immature. I actually fully, I would advise you tell her how immature and stupid it is when she plays the whole nothing's wrong, right? Because I'll do that, right? I'll be like, hey, baby, you know, what's wrong? Nothing, nothing, nothing. And then finally on like the 7th nothing, the 8th nothing to be will actually be, okay. And then she tells you what's wrong, right? Or you can do where you go for 7 nothings and you go, okay, whatever. And then you go and you wait. And you it's kind of like, it's like when you're trying to fuck a girl, right? And she's in your bed. And you guys are making out, you're fingering her, da-da-da. And you're like, all right, let's smash. She's like, nah, let's wait. Like, I don't know, you know, it's only the first date. You're like, okay. But I mean, you just like swallowed my cum, or, you know, I'm like finger blasting you. Like, my hands smell like fucking macaroni and cheese tuna sandwich. But it's like, all of a sudden you're trying to act, you know, like you got respect for yourself. It's like, come on. I'm joking. Like, it's not like I don't respect her because she has sex with me quickly. I can already see the comments, whatever, I don't care. If that's your reaction, then you probably weren't going to like me in the first place, right? But you know what I'm talking about. It's like, why are you playing these games? And then, you know, in 10 minutes, you know, you're like, all right, whatever, I'm going to go to sleep. And then she rolls over and grabs you and, you know, you fuck the shit out of her. And you're like, okay, what happened? You know, what changed in the last 10 minutes? I know that there are reasons why women act that way, and I know how to work around it. You know, you just, you know, wait it out most of the time. It's because she wanted to see that they're actually the same, right? So that comparison just came to my mind spontaneously, but actually it's pretty much the same fucking thing, isn't it? Like when a girl's having reservations about going all the way with you and just like fooling around. At the end of the day, it's most of the time she doesn't want to be seen as a slut by you, right? Or she doesn't want to get hurt. She doesn't want you to smash and toot it and boot it, or, you know, not call her back, or, you know, she doesn't want to feel slutty or whatever. It mainly just boils down to she wants to feel respected and like you care about her. So when a girl's upset in a relationship, like your wife or your girlfriend, and you ask her what's wrong, right? Oh my God, the comparison's actually fucking identical. And you keep asking her, like, what's wrong? And she says no. By you continuing to ask her what's wrong, she's basically, like, it's even hitting me as I'm teaching you. Like, I understood it, but now it's like clicking on another level. It's like, it's the same phenomenon. She just wanted to know that you cared. It's not so much that she is immature though, right? So I really want to point that it's a very immature way to get attention. It's like you tell it, like, let's think of it another way. You're beautiful. No, I'm not beautiful. I'm ugly. No, you're beautiful. No, I'm ugly. No, you're beautiful. No. And then on the 8th time, okay, fine, I love you. It's such a childish way, you know? But it's cute. That's why we love women, because sometimes they're really cute and silly. But it is silly, right? So don't delay your arguments, right? Back to the point of the video. Because, one, it kind of gives her the opposite thing. It shows that you don't care, because on a certain level it does, right? So is she being immature and silly? Yes, and we'll cover that in just a second, okay? I'm not out here telling you, you know, be a lame-o. But at the same time, she does want to know that you have affection and you care about her. So are you willing to be a little bit annoyed and be like, baby, what's wrong? What's wrong? And then say it for the 10th time? Is it really that difficult to do that? Is it really that hard? I know it's absurd and immature. I fucking get it, right? But is it really that hard to do that, right? For the most part, no. Sometimes, yes. Sometimes you're just like, woman, be an adult, right? You're not a teenager. You're an adult woman. You can tell me what's wrong. Sometimes that's the right move, and we'll go over that in a second. But sometimes you do want to pressure the argument of what's wrong right now, because it'll demonstrate that you care about her and the relationship enough to go through that fire now rather than delay it. You're willing to, like, it's probably going to be an uncomfortable, annoying conversation, because sometimes it's not even anything that you fucking really did wrong or maliciously. She just got triggered by something. Either because she just got triggered by something and there's really no way you could have predicted it. Maybe she's on her period, whatever, right? So if there's a woman watching this and she just heard that line, like, or maybe she's in her period, I bet just like the eyes were rolling, you know, over into, you know, the next fucking town. But it's true. I mean, if a woman says she doesn't act weird on her period, then, you know, the only kind of woman who would say that's probably a woman on her period, right? So I'm just out here triggering girls like fucking. Okay. Anyways, all right. Sorry, I'm laughing at my own jokes, being stupid, being silly. So show her that you care enough to press the fight right now. So that's one of the reasons to not delay an argument with your girlfriend or wife, because by delaying it, you're actually showing you don't care, which for the most part, most of the time, is not the right move, right? You also don't want to delay it because, obviously, as you've probably experienced, right, it's going to make it worse. It's better to tackle, you know, the infection now, the thing now before it grows, and the cancer before it spreads. Just fucking tackle it, go for it. Try to beat it now. Because whatever problem you had probably is quite small. But here's the thing with most problems, is that when you have an argument with a girl and like she blows up and goes crazy. Now I don't experience this anymore, because I've you know, I find girls who, you know, first of all, don't have a shitload of problems. Second of all, I know how to maintain relationships really well now because I avoid this, right? And also, you do have to be good at picking girls who just like don't act like this, because it's super fucking immature. But if you've ever had a girl who like blew up, it wasn't this thing that made her blow up. It was this thing, and then this thing, and then this thing, and then this thing, and then this thing. You should have caught it here, right? But either because, you know, you're tired because you're working, or you're just tired of fighting. I mean, if you're tired of fighting, then you're in a bad relationship and you shouldn't be with that girl. Like, if you've ever had the thought of, oh, I'm so tired of fighting, that relationship is not for you. It's probably beyond fixing, but, you know, every time I've told a guy to break up with a girl, that's not good for him. It's never worked out. So, you know, start making the fixes like that I'm going to teach you right now, and maybe it can help ease the hell that you're in. So find the problem here. The first sign of her not being all right, because it might not even have to do with you. That's another thing, right? The problem might not even be you. It might be her work or her family or her period, right? It might be something that's not related to you, but it still caused her to act in some sort of way. But, you know, you're a human being too. I'm sure you've, you know, lashed out at someone, not even your girlfriend or your wife, but, you know, someone you love, just because you're in a bad mood about something else, but then you took it out on them, right? So you're a human being. You've done that before too. So, you know, it's not girls who only do this. But let's say she was upset about something that didn't have anything to do with you. But if you don't address it and you don't deal with it now, you're just like, oh, whatever. Then she might see, well, he doesn't care about me enough to try and help me with this problem, because it is sort of your job as her husband or boyfriend, right? If you don't want to be their partner who problem solves with them, then you really shouldn't be their partner. You should just be fucking them, and that's it. You should just only have a sexual relationship. So you evolve the problem that might not even had to do with you in the first place, but by not fixing it, either it just grows on its own. Should she be mature enough to fix it on her own? Maybe. You know, again, we'll talk about that in a second. But it's now grown, and it's growing even more because she feels like you weren't willing to be there with her and help her fix it. And then it blows up and becomes this. Okay? So it shows you care about her if you go into the argument now, whether you have to ask five times, 10 times, or just do the whole, like, look, I know you're upset. I can keep asking you, 10 times more what's wrong. I'm just going to sit here until you tell me what's wrong. That's like the nuke, right? It always works. You just go, all right, if you're not going to tell me what's wrong, I'm going to sit here until you do. And you just stare at her and be like, and you can even make it a little bit funny. It kind of eases the tension. Be like, and you like poke her and be like, tell me what's wrong. And almost every time she'll do the whole, and it'll ease the tension because it's kind of cute and funny, and that always like helps people reframe things once you use humor. And then she'll open up, right? So just do that. I gave you enough reasons. Now, the one I've been promising you to tackle, right, where I'm not going to make it your problem, I'm going to make it her problem. Should she be mature enough to have the fucking ovaries to walk up to you and say, hello, my husband, I'm upset about this and this and this. I want you to only listen to this. I don't need advice on it, but this part you can give me advice on, and this part 50-50. Because, sometimes women just want to like vent and they don't want a solution. I should make a video on that. Like, when should you give advice to a girl and when should you only just listen? I'll do that on my next video, actually. It's a fantastic idea. Nice, Hector. I always get ideas for videos when I'm making videos, because ideas will just come out and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to I could spend the next 10 minutes talking about that, but I could just make it another video because it would be too much of a digression to handle in this video. But should she be mature enough to do that? Yeah. And you should tell her that after. That's one thing you should give advice to a girl about. And I'm sure if a woman's watching that, she's like, no, you tell me that, I wouldn't fucking date you if you act like that. So it's not really a problem we'd have to worry about, honey. So you have the argument, right? And you settle whatever beef you guys had together. Then, afterwards, you say to her, by the way, sweetie, my love, my honey, moon of my life, next time you have an issue, please, for the love of Jesus, Muhammad, and all the other prophets, and every other god and goddess in the sky and on earth, please try your best to just come to me when you have a problem and don't let it fester like that anymore. I'll try. It's just like when you promise to like the things that guys suck at, or at least I suck at, right? Picking up your clothes, washing the dishes, da-da-da. Like, I really try to do better at that shit, but it's just not a good habit of mine, right? So for most women are there some women who are able to do it? Yeah. And those are the women that I prefer to date. But even those women will tend to, from time to time still do the whole, and some of it's not even because they're a woman, right? I'm having fun here. I'm trying to wiggle some funny bones, but it's not just about them being women. Some people just have the temperament of they don't want to express their issues because they want to deal with them internally. It's more than often a masculine trait of wanting to deal with problems on your own, because most women who hold in the problems, it's not because they want to deal with them alone. It's because, it's for other reasons I've explained in this video. But there are some women who do have more of that, let's not even call it masculine or feminine, just to not, unnecessarily trigger anyone, My point is education here, not to make fun of anyone. So if you have a temperament, masculine or feminine, to not express your problems, because some people are sharers and whiners by nature. And it's not whiner, that has a bad connotation. It's sharers by nature, right? But some people are not sharers. Like, I don't like to tell people my problems because I feel like I should have the capacity to deal with them on my own. But sometimes it helps to share them, right? So your woman might have that nature. It might not be because she's a woman and, I got to ask her 10 times. It might just be the fact that that's her temperament, that she tends to deal with things internally. And you want to express to her that while it's nice that she has and you can say these words almost exactly, like, it's nice that you have that independence and that courage to tackle your problems alone, but it creates problems in our relationship because you try to handle them on your own, and to a certain extent sometimes you don't succeed, and then you blow up because of that dissatisfaction with your own ability to self-manage. And then it affects the way that you treat me and the way that you treat yourself. So it would be kinder to both you and me if you had a problem and we could just fix it together in 5 minutes, rather than letting this fester for hours or days and then turning into a bigger problem unnecessarily, right? So most of the time, relationships are just about healthy, open communication, but it's easier said than done. Someone can just be like, oh, the solution to marriage and relationships is open communication. Yeah, that's like saying the solution to getting rich is to make money. It's like fucking duh, right? But it's all of these like nuanced situations that have to be approached in unique ways with open communication, but you got to tackle them one by one. So don't delay arguments with your girlfriend or your wife. Deal with them now. The only exception would be if you're in public. If you're in public, you're out to dinner with friends. I would always used to see like couples at the bars and clubs like get into drunk arguments. Oh God, that always just made me want to be single. I was just like that. I would see the guy and the girl and just be like, dude, what a fucking waste of time, you know? What an unhealthy relationship. But whether you're out, it could just be you're out with her at lunch and a problem is being started. If you can like take a walk and find somewhere private, okay, that's fine, right? You don't have to exactly wait till you get home. But if there's people within earshot, or if one or both of you are getting a little bit emotionally charged, then you need to, that's another video, like when you do have an argument, it should never turn into a fight. The moment it turns into a fight, you both need to cool off, but that's another video. Tell her either, let's find a more private place to discuss this, or let's wait until we get home. And if she still persists to like duke it out, I would be questioning who you're dating or who you're married to, because that's some real immature fucking shit. But that's on you. So I've given you the advice for the topic of this video. For other topics, you got to see the other videos. So hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell. If you are not in a relationship, I don't have any relationship products yet. I do plan on making a relationship course. But if you're looking to get into a relationship and you look forward to this, these problems are really not that big, right? But everything has problems. You know, being in a relationship is not a solution to being single. It's just a different kind of thing, right? But if you do want to be in a relationship, because there are a lot of positives to it, I have a texting book in the description called What She Really Means. Teaches you how to text girls. It could be useful for texting your girlfriend and your wife too, especially if like you go on a business trip or whatever and you want to communicate better with your significant other. If you're doing online dating, you know, texting is a big thing these days. So I teach you how to do it properly. If you want to actually learn how to meet girls the good old-fashioned way, not at bars and clubs or fucking online dating apps, which I teach guys how to do properly, but I don't really like them myself. I'll teach you how to meet girls the old-fashioned way by just approaching them in my course called Meet Girls Everywhere, which is in the description below. And also I have a college book for those of you who are in college, and it's my crazy stories and like basically autobiography of college mixed in with tons of lessons on gossip, reputation. It's a good book in and of itself. Like it's a bit of an entertaining book, if I may say so myself. So check that out in the description. If you want one-on-one coaching with me for dating or relationships, check out the form in the description below, and we can have a 10-minute consultation call and see if coaching with me is right for you. Okay, Hector Castillo, girlchase.com. Hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you soon. Ciao.